Welcome back, New World degenerates, to New World Season 4 Flail Guide. This time round, we will be a bit more comprehensive for you real nerds to really make the most out of this build. Without any further bullshit, I am gonna dive straight into our stat distribution. However, before we begin, there are two ways of playing this build. As a disruptor assassin, the best and way more fun and less cringe way, or the boring ass tanky as fuck heavy way that only cringe cucks you. So obviously this guide is for the former. So for our Chad build, we're looking for the following stats. 350 in strength because we drank our milk like our mama asked and grew up to be a big strong boy. We want at least 50 dex and 50 focus. The dex is to help us really pound the back doors of the pussies that run with our big sword, and the focus helps us with flail damage, as well as the passive healing we get from our flail tree. Speaking of trees, here's how I rock my flail tree. Being sure to not grab the final perk from Arcane Eruption Supportive Blessing, because the only thing we want to support is our big hard bonks slapping them round the face, and also not the final perk from Trip, as this would also cuck our damage and our oppressive combo. Other things to note is that we grab the Cleric Capstone better together, which leads me to my first tip, and not the kind of tip I give to your mom. Whenever you are kiting, running around waiting for cooldowns, which you need to do to effectively trade, you whip out your mini bong. So better together will passively heal you and your teammates, not that we need them. Next up, sword and board tree. I prefer the defensive version, as I am a bit of a pussy after playing bottom bitch for your dad, but you can also run the more aggro tree where you can grab this perk because you are clearly compensating for something. But it is so easy to hit the empower cap that I prefer the tree I show here because it includes a rend and mass slow from shield rush. Now the juicy goodness, the main combo. Shield rush into shield bash, into a trip behind the target, into an animation cancel basic attack, into arcane eruption all over their ass. It should look something like this. For you slow cunts, here it is at half speed. And here it is happening to a wild cuck. Another thing you can do is throw in a smite for good measure, because not only is this unavoidable, but it will stagger their cheeks long enough for you to catch them up and give them a good clap in yourself. Now I want to talk about some 1vx situations, like peeling chasing little nonce bags off your ass. You can do this a number of ways, but sticking to smiting with our mini bonk. The most obvious way is to 180 a smite onto them and keep groving. You can also make use of that mass slow you have from the SNS tree, and then begin to pair things up with leaping strike as shit gets too real for you. You want to be using the same combos you use to save yourself, to save your teammates too pathetic to save themselves too. Also in 1vx situations, you want to use your kit smartly. For example, if you have two melee chasing you, wait until they're sat on each other's dicks, then hit them with one of your abilities, which will effectively allow you to combo them both. Here's some examples. Now onto the boring stuff gear. I am sure every Timmy and Jimmy is going to try and give me their 2 cents on this, so I will preference this by saying this is my opinion, and I do not care about yours. If you were listening from the start, you will note that I play this build far more aggressively than some pussy might normally, and thanks to the absolute Chad Micro, where he debunks the biggest perks in this season. He highlights that health is not biz. I will tag this video below in the description. With that being said, for this build and how I play, I am looking at trying to hit the refreshing cap, which is 4 out of 4, getting required weapon perks, having full shirking heals because that is back now and procs every 7 seconds, and any spare spots we have we are filling with arcane harnessing, which increases our arcane damage by 2%. And we rock this because our flail does mostly arcane damage. and we stick an arcane gem in our sword, as well as going for arcane damage rune glass. As well as this, we also have arcane damage on our ring bit, and this is so effective because almost no one is gemming against arcane damage, apart from maybe some point players in a war which we shouldn't really come in contact with. As you can see, my gear is far from perfect, but I am not made of money, and thus have not been able to craft beasts. And since a GS trashed everyone's bank's account like the government IRL, I am sure most folks are struggling.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
Stand the fuck up! Searching for lost souls, picking them up in bulk like Costco's. And whoever's reading my life movie, my name some plot holes. My name is sharp enough so I clock down. The times it was too late, and then it just dropped slow. People are scared when they shoot the sheriff, but not when they shot holes. And that's how far you go to cop nose. Designer jeans, and it's a no-brainer.
When mother looks aside to me, you don't know. Different to a child with a smile on your photos. Make some decisions, some wrong, some right. Now strangers for my number when I'm sleeping at night. But then, serious too. And they'll only make me worse. Don't let me go. I roll away like a penny down a hole in the road.
Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. EJ spinning, I said my. Flash is fast, Flash is cool. Francois Supply, Flash ain't no dude, and you don't stop. Sure shot, go out to the parking lot, and you get in your car and you drive real far, and you drive all night, then you see a light. Comes right down and lands on the ground, and out comes a man from Mars. And you try to run, but he's got a gun, and he shoots you dead, and he eats your head, and then you're in the Man from Mars, and you go out at night, eating cars, you eat Cadillacs, Lincolns too, Mercuries.
That guy needs to listen to more David Goggins.